honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, little honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. And of course, we got the legendary panel in the building. Legendary schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Welcome, panel. Welcome, chat. And how you doing, 7-8?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hopefully this weekend end off real, smooth like it's been going,
Yeah.
We have the legendary Roster Man Boone in the building. What's up, Roster Man?
Yes, 78 Sports Maximum. They call him Kevin Big Time. Moving, stepping.
Yes, sir. We got the legendary Bakri, only in America, in the building. What's up, Bak?
Peace and love to Brother Kev and the panel, and of course the chat. Much love to everybody.
Yes, sir. Y'all, thank y'all for being here. Everybody in the chat, smash the like button. I'm going to do a quick roll call. Run them down, Dread in the building. Salute.
Run them down.
Death Valley Kennel. Salute. Trail West. Nicholas Bronson. Hugo. Soul Power, a.k.a. Gamed Up Kennel. Salute. AJ. Frank Rizzo. Combat Toolback. Salute, brother. Miami Sleep 305.
305.
Boris Baker. Dreadlock. A.M. McCory. Let me see here. Mike Lee, salute to you.
Mike.
We got Rhodes Kennels.
Rose.
Milltown Kennels in the building. Salute, fam.
Milltown. Holler at my boy Face in South Carolina. Yes, I.
We got Diego. Guillory Kennels. Arrowhead Kennels.
Guillory.
Young Reed. Mark Wonderlynch. Supreme Excellence. The lovely Brown Sugar Tay-Tay in the building.
Tay-Tay. Yeah, where you at?
The queen is here.
Yes, indeed.
Tay-Tay, where you at, girl?
Doran Zellers. Timothy Walker. A.M. Oh, I said A.M. McElroy. Salute. Let me see. We got Eyes Show Cars. Oswell. All right. Salute to everybody in the building. I see you, Narco Hampton. Salute to everybody in the building. Can't read everybody, but much love and much appreciation to everybody that's in the building. Thank y'all for joining us. We got a great show for y'all today. We have some questions y'all put in from last week. And let's get to the smoke. We got first question is, during a keep, if a jip goes in the heat, could the hormone change in the dog affect the overall results? I'll start with you, Brother Bakri.
Well, we already know if she's in heat, she's already in a hormonal change. So, in true indeed, I mean, there's a question meaning like if she was going hunting, would that affect her or possible the other? Is that what this question is pretty much asking?
Yeah, he's basically saying, can it affect the results of the keep by her being in heat?
Oh, for the keep. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say it's gonna mess her up in a keep. I mean, only problem can come is she gonna be willing to dance and romance because she's in heat. That's the only problem. But in terms of the hormone changes, they get of course she's gonna have hormone changes because she's in heat. So like I said, far as messing up the keep, no, it's nothing messing up the keep at all. I don't see no reason why that's gonna have any effect on her in terms of conditioning. You know what I'm saying? But it will have a problem with her if she's not used to being in heat and going hunting, and then goes hunting and then doesn't even want to hunt because she's in heat. Which a lot of people there's some silly shit like gotten rid of female. They didn't feel like they wanted to go out there and hunt no wild boar, and didn't even take into account that they never even checked to see if she, and any other time she was in heat, that she would want to go hunt. Some of them just sit right there in the goddamn joint and just lay down and holler and anything else when they see the wild boar. They don't want any type of aggression to it. And then some have no problem with it at all. So no, but in terms of the key, I don't see any reason, because most people, if you work anytime you stress a female dog, stress a female or any female for that matter, they can start their heat, their cycle can come on and when they stressed out. You know what I mean? So yes, most of the dogs' heat cycle gonna come on while they get stressed in the key. Okay, they can get stressed on the ride, they can get stressed all that, but that's not gonna really have too much effect in terms of the key. And go right on through the process. And normally, everything goes on like clockwork.
All right, Mr. Garcia, what's your take on that?
Yeah, pretty much what Bach said. And like he said, that sometimes the stress of when you start working them, that brings them into heat. If you catch it, if they come in early, you can go through the whole keep and hopefully they'll be out of heat by the time the keep is over, but it can make them act funny. Some of them they don't care, it don't matter. But there's a hormonal change regardless when they're in heat, especially when they're at estrus, right when they're, ready to breed. That's the hardest part of it. Some people just keep working. They back off a little bit on the work generally. You don't work them so hard. They just work them right through the keep, and by the time the heat is over, they can finish out the keep like they normally do. But I'm in agreement with what Bach said. Pretty much the same thing.
All right, Rasta Man Boone, your take on that?
Well, I kind of agree with some of it, but there's things you can do to, stop that cycle and take them out of it, where it won't affect them at all. There's things you can do. So you gotta, just study and research about that process, and then you would apply those things, and even if you're working them and they come in, if you just research it, and you can do some things to take them right out of it, and you keep right on going. I mean, you'll be working them as they're going out of the process. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it won't affect them at all. But you got to use the process to take them out of, or they'll go through that normal cycle, and it can extend for a while. You know what I mean? So your thing is to immediately, we're gonna stop it now. So we're gonna apply this, bam, bam, and this gonna make sure it ain't gonna happen. She's gonna come on out of that and keep going like it ain't never happened.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. The question was, does it affect their feet? We didn't ask how you can stop it. No disrespect. He asked the question.
No. Hold it. The question was to all three of us, right?
Yeah.
He said, will it affect the keep?
I answered it the way I seen it. You see what I'm saying?
I'm hearing you, Boom, but he said, will it affect the keep?
But what I'm saying is,
if you can answer that for him, will it affect the keep? That's what we want to know. Will it affect it, brother?
I just gave the answer.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear it. I heard you say what you can do to change it from not coming in heat. But he asked, was it going to affect the heat? So we can keep going.
Cornelius, salute to the brother Cornelius Jenkins in the super chat, showing love, much appreciation. He says, what up, family? I hope everyone is well. I sub to all your channels. Realest Players on YouTube. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Cornelius.
Bless up,
Appreciate it.
community.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
All
Yeah,
right.
feel free to comment, and if you don't want to comment on my video, that's okay too, man. I just appreciate the support. Thank you.
Okay, we got another question here. Is what is or was the cost per dog, or cost per month per dog for dog care, and how much is too much? You know what I mean? Mr. Garcia, what would you say you spent when you had dogs?
Back in the day, and I had about between 10 and 12 grown dogs. If I had a litter or two of pups, it could be up to 20 dogs total. But just on the grown dogs, it averaged about $300 a month to take care of them. Food, housing, upkeep, you know, flea dip, shots, medicine, like that. It was, I'm talking 35, 40 years ago. So I don't know what it would be now, but and you can break that down. So, you know, if it's $300, 10 dogs, what is that?
Right.
You
$10
know,
about $30.
$30 a piece per dog, you know. But some months you don't have to, you know, use any medicine, and you know, they get their shots when they're young and stuff like that, you know. Deworm them, you know. I didn't deworm them that often, like, you know, a lot of people do it now, and I guess it's safer to do it like that now. But I only dewormed them, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, other than the ivermectin. I gave that monthly, you know. But that was about the cost for, you know, 10, 12 grown dogs, $300 a month for all of them. If I have pups, then add another $100 or so, maybe 150.
Right. Roster man, what would you say the cost per dog was when you had dogs?
At one time, when I first started, I ain't have but one, and then I got another one. So that cost, it wasn't much of nothing, you know. But you know, buying the feed, and you know, you kind of grow, and you studying, and you trying to learn what's the best feed. You know, it's a continuous cycle. Then you move on, and the more dogs you get, just have, you know, you figure, I don't know, per dog a month. Let's say, I'm talking about if we talking about today's time now, I'm thinking maybe $60 or less. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you get you know, toys or treats or whatever. You know what I mean? Because people do different things, try to get dogs to respond. So if you had any more than that, I'm sure it would cost more. You know what I mean? But on the average one, it won't be that bad. And then some dog food, you know, you got some dog food costs, shoot, 80, 70,
Right.
80, you know what I mean? So it just depends on what kind of money you want to spend, but, you know, to have your animal, you know, what kind of feed, you know, how you know, you want to take care of.
Right, right. Brother Bach, what would you say the cost per dog was when you had dogs?
I'll be sitting up here lying. I never did a cost per dog assessment. To be honest with you, I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't even know what that would have been per dog. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give up a answer to something that I never even checked. You know what I mean? I just can pretty much know what I went by the month, depending on how many dogs I had.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So they all pretty much was eating the same amount. You know what I mean? But I didn't say, you know, now I would be able to do it easier if I was doing it with a raw diet. It would probably have been easier for me to look at it based on, you know, the raw chicken and stuff like that, per dog. But just in terms of the feed, out of like per cups and this, that, and the other, no, I never really broke it down to that. to be honest. So, like you said, you know, of course, the hot, the whatever the food is, depending on what food you're using, you know, that's going to determine, you know, what is going to be per dog. But like I said, I wouldn't have an assessment for that per dog. No.
Yeah, I usually, well, keep in mind, I only have a few dogs. You know what I'm saying? So, but the cost for their bedding per month, the cost for the food, and the cost for my yard guy, which is a luxury. I don't really need a yard guy, but you know, it's a luxury. So that shit cost me, you know, pretty, you know, more than it should cost me. It cost me probably about, I want to say, $1,200 a month. Okay, but the food that I use is $60 a fucking bag, and it only lasts 3 days. So I decided, fuck that food. I'm about to try something else, right? I hear everybody talking about they use Victors and Victor this and that, and I'm like, well, let me try this shit and just see how the dogs react to it. If I see a change in their coat or anything, then I'll get back to I'll go back to the other one. The fucking dogs, man, these dogs don't give a fuck about their food. They eat the fuck out of the Victors. So like shit, I'm like, man, I'm like, I've been wasting money all these years feeding this fucking high priced dog food. Their coats still look the same. They look good. They still act good. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I took my cost down by like, I want to say $400 a month. You know what I'm saying? Just switching dog food and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy as shit. You know what I'm saying? You know.
And
go ahead, Buck.
How many dogs you say you feeding a month?
I don't want to say on here how many dogs I got.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't got. Well, I don't have a big yard though.
Then let me, if I could say this, I was just talking to a buddy today, right? And they charging $24 for 40 pounds of quarter legs, right?
Oh yeah.
You do better. I don't understand why people fucking with the kibble when you can go get the damn legs, the quarter. Yeah. I mean, you know, the quarter joints for that price, and you for like $125, you get 200 pounds of chicken, and then you go get some rice and get a little bit of damn kales, you know, greens, and might put a little sweet potato, and you can feed between raw and chicken and rice cooked throughout the week. Way better. The dogs look a million times better. They shit don't smell at all.
Absolutely.
They're very small shit at that, and it's way better than $80 dog fucking food. I'm just being honest. Okay, so
damn right. Yeah, and I feed my dogs leg quarters and stuff, and I used to feed my other dogs quarters all the time, but these dogs I give them quarters every once in a while, like once a week I feed them some raw. But yeah, out here we get leg quarters cheap, like 10-pound bag for like $5-6 and shit. You know what? Yeah, we around all these farms and shit, but I be eating them leg quarters my damn self. Fuck that.
Give them the leftovers.
Just go ahead and buy you a couple cases. You know,
yeah, I got a deep freezer in my garage specifically for that. It's just full of frozen chicken leg quarters and shit, and hamburger meat and shit.
Yeah, there you go. That is good, man.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, I just sometimes you want to take care of your dogs and you're just doing too much. I just found myself doing too much unnecessary shit. So that's why I switched up dog foods. Man, I was so happy them dogs like that Victor. I said, man, I get this big ass 50-pound bag of Victors for the price I was paying for a 20-pound bag of the other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
And the Victors last me all week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm spending.
Hey, look, you can get you some Joy.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is?
I thought you were talking about the dog brand.
Yeah, Joy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Get you something. That's a whole lot cheaper. I'm just fucking with you.
So some old Roy. You trying to put my dogs on some old Roy. He said, hey, salute to Doug. Salute to Doug in the super chat. Appreciate the support, Doug. He said, salute dog man, weekly dog man dudes. Thank you, brother. Salute.
Hey,
much love, brother Doug.
Hey, Doug, we're a family up here now.
Another question we got is, what's good advice for a young man who's getting into the hounds who doesn't have a mentor? Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, most people didn't have a mentor. You know, the ones that were lucky did. You know, like TJ. You know, TJ Fisher. He just happened to live down the street, or his grandma or some relative lived next door or something to Ben Kalapi. You know, Barney Fife.
Yeah, Barney Fife.
Yeah, yeah. So he had to end that way. He was just a kid when he first met him. Most people don't have a mentor. You know, and like I mentioned before, I'll do it again. Do your research, history, find as much, information as you can. Take all the information with a grain of salt, unless you get books from a reputable person, like Colby book or, Armitage book or something like that. Learn as much as you can about the breed, if you can, if there's people that you can talk to, maybe not so much a mentor, but just, what do they call it when you
consultant or somebody to consult with?
Yeah, like networking, like network with people, if you can do that. And before you get one dog, have your yard set up, what kind of house you want to use, depending on where you live, might have to be insulated if you're in the cold, shade, lots of shade in the heat, but honestly, most people didn't have a mentor in that respect. There's always somebody you can talk to. You can get information here and there, and now communication is almost instant. So if somebody's willing to talk to you, take advantage of it, and you'll even that, they might not give you the best advice, but it's some advice, and then you'll learn through the process whether it's good advice or not. But that's about the best you can do,
Right. Brother Bob, what's your take on that?
You want me to say that? You want me to say that the best thing to give a person,
with no mentor,
is really make sure why you even want to be in the dogs today. Okay, that's what you really want to do. You really want to check and see why you would want to be in the dogs, for whatever purpose it is you would want to be in. And then once you can figure that out, you know what I'm saying, you can go about other procedures, but a lot of things, like I said, today aren't like they were back 30 years ago. So it was a lot of shit in the game. People had to really seriously reassess their whole thing, and if we talking about the Pacific dog game, if you just want to just say you want to get into having pit bulls and put them out there wild boar hunting and doing different things, that might be something that you can definitely do, and it's easy to do. There's a lot of people that can help you with that. But in terms of anything else, I wouldn't tell anybody to do anything since we talking about present day, because I'm not up here promoting shit about dogs of the past or what we was doing. That's not why I'm here. Yep. Okay.
Yes, indeed. And before I go to roster man on that, I want to clarify something. When I say I was spending like $1,200, I pay some of that money is going to paying my yard guy. You know what I'm saying? He comes over every morning. He clean up the dogs, kennels. He feed them, water them. You know what I'm saying? And he walk them. You know what I mean? So this is it's not a bad deal and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker doing all your work for you and shit. Roster man,
that's great for you, brother, because you got a whole lot of stuff to do.
Absolutely. Roster man, what would you say? What advice would you give to a young man who is getting into the hounds but don't have a mentor?
Massive, are you ready? Check it. Everything everybody said is excellent. In the 70s, young man getting into the dogs in the 70s, I would make sure I want to be responsible, you know, because to have a dog or a puppy or whatever it is you receive when you do in the 70s, you want to make sure you take care of it, nurture it, worm it, and you know, you want to spend time with it and figure out, you know, what your plan is for it, as Bach mentioned. And so back then, you want to study, you want to learn about all the different nutritions and all the different things that enhance one another to make it better, to get the most nutrition in the dog, to get the performance out of the dog. Understanding the balance of conditioning, you know what I mean? In the 70s, you know, when you go walking your dog, some people just walking, they got the dog walking beside them, dog walking behind them. That ain't how you be no soldier. If you join the United States military and you walking a dog like that, they might kick you out the army. Yo, high stepping with that motherfucker. He got to be out there in front of you, taking your ass down through there. And if he ain't taking you down through there, you ain't doing shit. Both of y'all just, I guess, holding hands, walking together. You know? So it's everything about, you know, having detail of what you're gonna do with that animal in the 70s. It was so beautiful, man. Back then, tell him, Garcia. I mean, it was just, you know, you woke up all week long, bulldog.
That's true. You know, it was so ingrained in your head. You know, you really enjoyed so much what you're doing. That 30, 40 years later, you still remember little details. You know, you know that term, you live and breathe bulldogs. That's how it was for a lot of us. You know. So you're right about that, man.
So a guy wanting that feeling will have to make sure that he stay focused on what he's doing, not with the words out of people's mouth and what the people saying, because you're gonna always have people that'll be standing right by you. This is my homie. This is a homie. Tell him your name. Homie. Yeah, homie. And then he get over there with the mother. Man, fuck him. Homie ain't shit. Hey, say, hey, I got homie on the phone. Hey, homie, that's you. Is that your homie? Yeah, man. Yeah, I told them niggas fuck them. So when them motherfuckers start telling you they're your homie, you say, okay, homie, don't you believe that shit. But anyway, you know, and don't get caught up into what everybody's saying and twisted into what's going on with all this foolishness. Stay focused on what you're trying to do. And I guarantee you, everything about the 70s, you'll experience. That's it.
Yes, sir. Salute to Zachariah 23 in the super chat. Appreciate the support, Zachariah. He says, salute. What are some breeding and care tips that you learned along the way that would have saved you time and headaches early on? I'm gonna start with you, Brother Bot.
I couldn't hear what you were saying, brother. There's something in the background.
He says, salute. What are some breeding and care techniques that you learn along the way that would have saved you time and headache early on?
He said husbandry. I'm trying. Husband
breeding. That's why I translated so it wouldn't be no confusion. He just talking about breeding and like care techniques and stuff like that.
Damn, I still hardly could hear you. It's like something. There's a noise coming when you talk. Is there a noise where you at, brother? I'm trying to hear the question correctly. Maybe everybody else. I can't. I'm hearing you on something else.
Can you hear me now?
That's what I hear you now. Yeah. Okay. What'd you say?
I put everybody on mute so it won't be no background noise. Okay. What are some breeding and care techniques that you learned along the way that would have saved you time and headaches early on?
Well, you know, like anything else, well, this kind of goes back to some of the questions you had, like in terms of mentoring. If you get right with a good mentor, then they kind of like save you a whole lot of stuff because of all the type of trials and obstacles you're going to take. You wouldn't have taken them if you had listened to them and they were good mentors. I mean, it's like anything else, you know, about the different, you know, some things you know, by being per dog and stuff. I mean, it's like that question's a little can be with different variables because it's still going to be per dog. It's not like one size fits all. So it's like different things. Like I developed the thing of I just saved every dog from parvo after losing so many, and just by trial and error, you know what I'm saying? So that was something. If I would have known that at the beginning, I wouldn't have lost some of the best puppies that I wish I was able to, you know, keep. So of course, I learned those things on the way, and it's like anything else. The longer you do something, the better you get at it. So in terms of saying what all the number one thing I would have mentioned, just like I said, would have been the parvo part, because at the beginning, it was a buddy of mine's that we called him parvo because he brought it to everybody's yard. And had I known what I knew later on, that would have saved me a whole lot of valuable dogs. But like I said, in terms of the list would be so long in terms of just throughout going through the dog process of what I learned based on what I was doing at the beginning. You know, it'd be too many to mention. But that'd be one that's for sure.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, some tips you learned along the way that would have saved you time and headaches.
Yeah, a couple of things. The actual art of breeding dogs. Most people, believe it or not, don't know what a heat cycle is. They know dogs come in heat at Tombstone around, but they don't know the process where they come into heat, then they're in full estrus, then they go out of heat. They honestly do not understand that. So I would have people research that, you know. And me, even though I grew up country, we had livestock, all that stuff was done naturally. You know, we didn't breed the cattle, they just bred themselves. We had dogs, and if the dogs bred, they just did it. So I didn't have that knowledge about how to actually breed a dog and how to get dogs that are difficult to breed, breeding stands and all that stuff, or just that you know, there's techniques you can use to get dogs to breed rather than to be aggressive, you know. There's an art to that too. And something that would have helped me early on, because my dogs were real aggressive. Most of them would go after each other, even if they were in heat. The males would go after the female go after the male. They didn't care. So if I had learned artificial insemination earlier than I did, I would have made some more key breedings that I wasn't able to make later on after the dogs, you know, weren't around. So as far as animal husbandry, that would have been a couple of things that would have helped me if I'd have understood them early on. And then, you know, if you can get books on animal husbandry, you know, or there's books available like breeding horses, breeding fowl. You know, not everything is relatable because they're different animals, but there's a lot of good information in them that like you know, what's the gestation period of a particular animal? like dogs, it's 2 months, 63 days average or whatever it is, you know. Just understanding that, write it all down. When they first come into heat, when they're in heat, when you breed them, and then you know, use a calendar, they should be born around this time, you know. A lot of that stuff people they have no idea, you know, even to this day with all the information that's available. They don't understand how many days and all that stuff. But you can find, even if you just get a book on dogs in general, breeding dogs, I'm sure there's books like that, you know, and then actual animal husbandry books, you know, when's the you know, when do they, the best time to breed dogs, you know, as far as maturity, you know. A lot of people, they just breed their dogs the first heat, they're too young. Even the second heat, they're too young, you know. You know, when they come in heat, you know, on average, you know, and be watching for it, you know, because they could come in and out. Sometimes people don't even notice, you know, believe it or not. So those are a couple of things that would have helped me early on.
Okay. Let's go with Roster Man Boom. What's some tips that would have helped you out that you learned along the way that would have helped you out early on?
If I had have been more into breeding, you know, I mean, you know, we pretty much know how to breed them, put them together, and sure, it don't take me long to get them, you know, to get them stuck. I pretty much can breed them. And a lot of times when people couldn't get it done, hell, I can go right there and get them going, and it's over. So I just, I guess that's what would be a tip, is to, if you know, if you plan on having them, and you know, just make sure you breed what you want to have, and it's gonna give you the quality that you're looking for. And if you don't breed them, then, you know, if you breed them sparingly, you're gonna have some, but you know, you will have more if you know, breed them a little more regular. So, but pretty much what they've said is everything about what they need to do. Just research with the technology and the science and the information that's available. You can go on YouTube. You can go on. You can go on Google. You can go on anything now, and get as much as understanding about whatever it is you want. You know, but you got to apply yourself. You know, to you know, you got to apply yourself. If you don't apply yourself to understand these things, and it ain't like you're gonna get it in 1 second, 1 minute. And to me, I think it's, you know, it's good to go over things. You know what I mean? You might go over it once, you might go over it twice, you might go over it 3 times. And sometimes when you're doing that, you're reading books and you're going through tapes or whatever, you know, you say, damn, that's something that I didn't catch the other time, but I caught it this time. You know what I mean? So it's you know, it's about getting in there, what you call getting in the mix. You know, that's what all the brothers just talked about, you know, being in the mix. How you go, Kev?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, one other thing I'd like to say too is when your females come in heat, seclude them, have them away, keep an eye on them. Some people think that because they're in an outside kennel or even in a room in a house, that they won't get bred. They will. They'll find a way to do it. They'll breed stray dogs. They'll breed coyotes. If you live out in the country, they'll breed to anything comes along. And where there's a will, there's a way. Even if you have them on a chain separated where they can't get to each other. I've seen dogs where They never get no accidents. They never get, but they're close enough. And you come home and they're tied up and breeding, you know. So be conscious of that, because, like I said, they will breed, man. Even mine, like they were aggressive and all that. That's the pit bull side. I had accidents where cur dogs bred to them, just because of the way they act, the way they come up to the females. They take their time. They ain't aggressive, coy. So eventually I stopped leaving them outside at all. When they came into heat, I put them in my bedroom, in a kennel, and they stayed there till they were done, or I bred them and they were done. You know, went through the cycle, didn't breed them, make sure they're fully out of heat. Then I put them back outside.
Let me add this to that. So what you have to remember, when a dog come in heat, it doesn't matter what kind of dog it is. If it would, it's gonna do it. But the best way to keep them, if you don't keep them in the house, whether you keep them away from everything, is have a kennel off the ground at least 3 feet. You know what I mean? 3 to 4 feet off the ground, and you know ain't nothing getting to it. You see what I'm saying? But if that dog is on the ground in a fence, and the fence got them holes in there, oh, she can be hit, you know. And
yeah,
so
they'll breed through a fence. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So you have to have them off the ground, at least 2 feet. To me ain't enough, because she can just sit down and he can hit her, he can plug her. But if they about 3 feet, 4 feet off the ground, you know ain't nothing gonna get to them.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, ain't nothing worse than coming home, finding the fucking German Shepherd leaving your backyard. That's the worst shit ever, because you know you gotta throw away all that shit. Like, what the fuck?
I got a quick story for you, if it's okay.
Proximo.
Mr. Whitley called me. He said, "Yeah, man, we're gonna breed. Saturday, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." I said, "Yeah." So I went over there, and I said, "Damn." I said, "You got it on the ground, don't you?" "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." I said, "Man, that German Shepherd, we're gonna get to all that German Shepherd ain't gonna bother, man. You know that. That German, he know better than that. He know better than that. Go over there, man. He ain't gonna bother. He know better than that." I said, "Oh, okay, all right." So he said, "Hey, Boone, I got the puppies." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come over here. I want you to see him." Okay. I go over there. Damn puppies black. I said, "Them his puppies?" He said, "No."
Damn.
Long hair. I said, them German Shepherds ain't there. He said, "No, there ain't no German Shepherd." I bred that dog right there. I said, "Yeah, look at this." I said, "That motherfucker's black." That dog don't look black. He red. That motherfucker black. Them puppies black, man. Oh, no. Yeah. About 3 weeks went by, them motherfuckers started looking like German Shepherd. He said, "I kill all of them."
Oh, yeah. They get used to it.
He said, "You know what?" I said, "What?" He said, "I'm had his nuts cut out."
Mm-hmm.
He had the German Shepherds. He had 2 of them. I meant to say it was one male and a female. Yeah. One of them. It was one. But he had his, had him castrated, man. But I told him, I said, "Man, get the dog off the ground, man." So, they can get stuck. You know what I mean? Don't think just cause the dog know you and you might try to intimidate the dog or whatever. That shit, man, when it come to that, they don't give a shit about that. but go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, they'll come from miles. They can smell it from miles away and shit,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You might have had some game German Shepherds.
Hey, they would have been
Mr. Boone.
Hey, look here. Hey, look here. We might have could have sold them.
Yeah.
So what y'all got? Some Whitley German Shepherds, goddamn it. Stay there all night.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cal.
All right. Let me see what we got here. How to teach recovery using the meal, bike, or walking or whatever. How you teach recovery to the dog, Mr. Garcia?
Teach recovery.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what
that's
he's saying. Teach
okay.
recovery.
Well, the recovery is if it's on the fly. What I used to do is, I take them out, start working them. Generally, they start fast, and then they slow down. Recoup on the fly, as I used to say it. That's the recovery part. A mistake that some people make is when they slow down, they encourage the dog to go faster. They want to keep them working hard like that all the time, and that's one of the worst things you can do. There's times when you can encourage a dog, which is after that recovery time. And generally the dogs, if they not just a barnstormer or a screaming demon, just come out full blast, 100 miles an hour, they'll do it on their own. You just have to be smart enough to let them do it, and they'll do that throughout the workout. They'll pick it up, back off, pick it up, back off. When they back off, don't say shit to them, leave them alone. When they pick it up, encourage them. But because the dogs are the way they are, when they back off, if you encourage them, they're going to pick it up. That could hurt them. You have to be real careful with that. If you have that barnstormer type, you're going to have to teach it how to pace itself. I did that with my baiting, where they would want to pull. It's like if you walk your dog, and a lot of them just pull. They pull the whole way. If you keep up that steady pace with them and allow them to pull as hard as they want, they generally not going to pace themselves. So even in that situation, I would hold back on them. I would hold back on the lead. Even if you have to almost fight against them, and what'll happen is they'll start getting the idea that when you hold back, they don't work so hard. And if you let them do that a couple of times where they just blow out, and then keep moving forward, they'll understand when you hold back on them a little bit, they'll back off on their pace a little bit, and that can help them learn to pace themselves. But the recovery generally, it comes natural unless you screw it up, where you making them work when they shouldn't. And like I said before, I didn't like my dogs to stop working whenever I was conditioning them. I try to back off on it or just completely stop the workout if they wanted to stop doing what they were doing. The fastest way to get the idea of it is with the flirt pole, because they'll chase that flirt pole fast. And I see a lot of videos where the dog blowed out. He just standing there, the guy's waving it. The dog's too tired to work it. He has to catch his breath, and then he'll start working the flirt pole. I wouldn't do that. I would work them till they get almost to that point where they're going to stop, and then you stop and put them up. It don't matter if it's a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, because that workout is such an intense workout generally that the dog, he will burn himself out. It's kind of like a sprinter. Sprinters don't train to run 100 miles an hour all the time, and that's what that type of workout is. Generally, the flirt pole is a sprinting workout, fast pace. So, but with any workout, whether it's a meal or riding a bike or swimming, whatever, I didn't allow them to get so tired that they would just fall out and stop, or just stop and sit and wait till they catch their breath. So that's about all I got.
Yes, sir. Welcome down, Ram. Big Stepping in the building. What's up, Ram?
Yo,
Ram,
Big Stepping.
what's cracking? What y'all in here lying about today, man?
You know we're lying.
That's how you doing, brother. Professional liars, brother.
Hell yeah.
Professional.
We stepping maximum.
What's going on, no OGs? How y'all doing today?
All right.
Lovely,
All
brother.
good.
Lovely.
Good.
All good.
Let me go to I'm gonna go to Brother Bach on this question here. Are there any guarantees that mixing any bloodline won't produce high quality dogs? Do you have to follow a specific recipe? All right. And he's basically saying that is there any breedings that's any bloodline mixing that's for sure not gonna work?
No, not that I know of. I mean, we pretty much dealing with pretty much the same damn bloodlines, with just a little tweak here and there, and you know. So no, I mean, somebody could say, well, the breed with Honey Bunch and ZEBO didn't produce shit really, but I mean, I also could see where Supernat took ZEBO's brother and took it to ZEBO.
No, Charlie. He took Jeep's brother.
I meant to say no. Well, I meant to say Jeep's brother. That's Charlie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jeep's brother.
Bred it to ZEBO bitches. Yeah.
Yep, the ZEBO females, and got some of the baddest shit you ever want to see. Okay, so with just a little, we can say whether it was the Finley Bow cross with the Honey Bunch that did it. You feel me? But all I'm saying, I'm not saying that I can't say that wasn't the reason, or it was, other than the fact that Finley Bow in it. So, but I just know that I'm using that because everybody say that was a failed cross, and I'm like, it really wasn't a failed cross because Supernat showed that it could work, you know, and got some of the best shit that I seen coming by with that Honey Bunch stuff crossed into the ZEBO stuff. You know what I mean? So, but again, I mean, people could sit here and talk all day about breedings, and if we all had a magical wand to know every goddamn breed we made was going to produce Grand Champion Dickhead Lily, then we would be doing that breed. Okay, so at the end of the day, we can put all of the greatest dogs together, the best pairs together, and you still hoping and praying that the shit works. Other than the fact that you might have did the breed one time before, and then you can pretty much say you again still, because it don't mean that litter will come out like the first one. But no, just to say what two bloodlines won't work. Me personally, I don't ever believe that to be true at all. I think you can take any two lines with two good dogs, you know, with good traits, and produce a good litter.
Yes, sir. Welcome down, Rad Big Steppin'. What's your take on that, man?
What was the question again?
Okay, question was, are there any bloodline mixes, crosses that guaranteed not to work?
Yeah, no, unless you breeding two fucking curves back to each other, but that's still, you might get a winner out of 10 fuckers, you know? Ain't no guarantee in this shit, man. Either way it go, it's either gonna work or it ain't, man. Because you could take REDBOY to JOCKO, you could take JOCKO to REDBOY, that shit work. It might work for me, but if my partner across the street tried, he get a whole yard full of curves consistently, you know? It's all a gamble with this shit, bro. I seen shit, like I always use T-Trade as an example. I wouldn't have bred that shit. To me, you know, that shit was ugly. But it worked like a motherfucker and it produced. So, you know, ain't no guarantees. And like OG Box said, we all pretty much working with the same genetics since these dogs just been around. The names on the pedigree changed, but the genetics really didn't. You know, you get the hybrid vigor and that's all you're going to get out of it, man. Nature only going to allow you to have so much. Then she going to tell you, get your bitch ass back to the drawing board and draw me up another one.
Right. Rasta Man Boone, what's your take on that? And from your experience, any crosses that just don't work no matter what?
They pretty much done answered, man. You know, you're gonna get good dogs out of dogs. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, you're dealing with the game dogs. You can take a kid down the street, have a dog today. and next year, dog breed to somebody else dog that's well-bred dog. There you go. They don't even have to know how the dog's bred, and they can breed them and still come out with something, you know. So,
Yep.
you know, you can pretty much just, you know, just what they said, man.
Okay. I want to go to Mr. Garcia on another question here. In the panel's opinion,
I can add.
Oh, okay. Go ahead,
something
Mr.
to
Bay.
that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. First answer, like Box said, is no, and everything they said is correct. And I'll give some examples. For instance, you know, Art was Grand Champion Art was Eli Carver or Eli Ed Crenshaw stuff. Dave Adams and Bruce Crutchfield bought him, took him up north. They crossed him with ZEBO stuff. They crossed him with Kingfish stuff. It worked. Bobby Love bred Art, Kingfish, Maximilian. It worked. You know, almost every breeding or every bloodline put together. You know, even Dunleavy, he bred a ZEBO bitch, inbred ZEBO bitch to the white blood, right? Got Hawkeye a 2-time winner. He was the only one survived his litter, but he was a 2-time winner. So just about everything has already been put together. And generally when things don't work, it's not so much the blood per se, and some bloodlines click better together than others, but I can't think of something that hasn't been put together where somebody wasn't successful with it. You know, it's just, you know, it's the person, it's the dog, follow the traits, all that stuff. And going back to something we talked about a few shows back, or I did I forget. Anyways, the point is, if you didn't know how the dogs were bred, you had no pedigree on the dogs you had, you would still know how to breed them because you're just following the traits. You're following the good ones or what you like. You put it together. If it works, you're going to continue using it. So, and you can build your pets that way. But behind them dogs, if they were all unknown or you had no pedigree or whatever, you could still do it. That's how it was done in the first place, anyways.
That's right.
So no, I can't think of something that was. It just didn't flat out work because some people have done some outrageous things that you don't think will work, but they made it work, you know. And even the one, you know, Bach mentioned, you know, produced Grand Champion Ace and a host of other dogs that Supernat had. It was, you know, Charlie Finley's Boat, a honey bunch bred to inbred daughters of ZEBO, you know. And that was done. You have Komasinski breeding the Greenwood stuff, and you know you have Tudor and Heinzel breeding 5 different bloodlines together. You know, Donovan and Corbino and Hemphill, and putting all this stuff together, it worked. So it's always dog for dog, traits for traits, like that, and something you wouldn't think. Put it together and see if it does. That's the best way to do it. If you really like it, try it. If it works, continue. If it don't have to mean that it's the bloodlines that didn't work. It's just that didn't click, you know. So
right.
That's about it.
That boil down to the individual dog. Like some litter mates, you'll have one that's a super producer and one that's up. You know, they're producing.
True. And that covers the whole gamut too. It could be the bad motherfucker that can throw badass dogs, or it could be his piece of shit brother that does it, and the bad one don't throw shit. So it just trial and error always, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, sir. Successful Convicts in the super chat. Thanks for the support, fam. He says, ever seen a non-pit bull win a match? Historically speaking, of course. Roster man, you ever seen a non-American pit bull terrier win a match?
No.
Okay. That's the shortest answer Roster man ever gave. Nah.
Hey, I wouldn't even watch it.
What about you, Brother Bach?
I'm gonna have to answer like Brother Boom, man. Nope.
Mr. Garcia?
No, but I did. I think I reffed it. It was a pit bull terrier cross. He went 1 hour and 9 minutes, made 9 scratches, and it was funny during the show. His handler didn't want to get handles, you know, and he told, hey, you got to handle when they're out of hole. He said, my dog don't scratch, and I told him, well, if you don't scratch, you lose. Well, he made 9 scratches before he quit. It went 1 hour and 9. And I saw a German Shepherd one time that fought like a pit bull against a pit bull. I don't know if he was game or not, but he took hold like a pit bull does. But it only went a few minutes. But he was holding, shaking like that. It wasn't that cur snap and this and that. And in the past, you know, them old guys, a lot of them just fought whatever dog they had. Doesn't mean they were even good fighters. It was just for money, a bet, or whatever. But I ain't never seen one.
Okay. What about you walking down Ram?
And then also Komasinski supposedly put, you know, bull terrier in his blood. Carver and other guys were known to put staff, but staff, it's the same, goes back to the same shit anyways. But Walter Komasinski supposedly crossed his pit bulls into it. I mean, his bull terriers into it. But they didn't look nothing like the bull terriers do now. They totally different dogs, you know.
Right.
So, but quick answer, no, I ain't never seen one.
Okay.
No.
What about you, Ram?
Fuck no. Hell no. Like Boom said, I wouldn't even watch that shit, man. Like, these dogs was bred for that. Taking anything else and trying to fucking campaign to get something that it was bred to do in this field, fuck no. That's like me taking my fucking game dog to a fucking herding contest and expecting to win. What the fuck? Hell no, you better not do that shit. Or that's free money, you know.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I always felt like, you know, somebody trying to invent something good, try to make it better. You ain't gonna make a pit bull better by putting traditional trait dogs, you know, fighting dogs, a real one. You know, it ain't gonna. No matter what anybody, it's been tried over and over and over again. It don't work. It ain't gonna work, and you ain't reinventing the wheel, man.
Hell no.
The way
Wasting time. You go invent a good hunting dog. But a fighting dog, fuck no.
It'd be a good guard dog.
It'd be a good anything else but getting in this box, dog.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Another question.
Prejudiced that
ahead,
way,
Mr.
man.
Garcia.
I was gonna say we're prejudiced that way. We don't like to
Yeah, I
dirty
think
up the, you know,
The blood, hell no.
blood,
In
you know what I
that
mean?
aspect, we blue blood around here.
Yeah. That's like an abomination, you know.
Hell yeah, I'm like Victor from Underworld. Who put it down, granddaughter or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. A question here is, in the panel's opinion, why is it so hard for dog men to worry about their yard and hounds they run? Why is there so much bad mouthing in the fraternity? I'll go backwards. I'm start with you walking down Ram.
Cause the motherfuckers who doing this shit is bitch ass niggas, man. Real men ain't got time to be sitting around thinking about what the next motherfucker got, man. However you fuck, do not make me bust a nut. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm over here worrying about how I fuck, getting my nut off. Same with the dogs. Too busy taking care of my dogs, my family, my goddamn bills to worry about what the fuck you doing over there. You know, if you need some help on something, yeah, you know, if I see something wrong, hey man, try doing it like this. But other than that, I ain't finna talk bad about a motherfucker shit. Fuck that. I mean, my dogs or down from my dogs ain't even closely related to my dogs, man. And most of the people fucking who got dogs, I don't fuck with. I don't give a fuck what you got, man. Live it up. I'm trying to build race cars now. You feel me? Just
Right.
I don't know, motherfuckers ain't got nothing else to do. You know, if you had a life and they free, you know, you got one, you just ain't using it. If you use it to its fullest potential, you wouldn't have time to sit around and worry about the next man doing at all. That's just bitch shit. You just sitting around gossiping and shit. You know, that's what girls do about each other when they go and get their hair done and shit. Men, you know, you got a problem with them, and if that bad, you link up with them and let's go to the backyard and we shake hands after. You know, ain't nobody got to die, but we can knuckle up. You know, a problem with what a motherfucker doing, but again, bitch ass niggas ain't trying to do that. They just trying to do little slimy bitch ass nigga shit. They probably wear panties when ain't nobody looking.
Slimy bitch ass nigga shit.
Straight slimy bitch ass nigga shit, bro.
Oh shit. All right. Roster Man Boom. Why do you think, let me read the question exactly. Let me see here. In the panel's opinion, why is it so hard for dog men to worry about their yard and the hounds they run? Why is there so much bad mouthing in the fraternity?
I really believe that they be trying to out-talk one another. You know, who can sound the loudest, who can sound the toughest, who can sound the slickest, you know. And ain't none of that got nothing to do with the dogs. So if the brothers settle down and understand that, you know, in the 70s, you wanted to know the next brother and you treated that brother with respect. You ain't be trying to down him and vex him and all that shit. You make sure you respect that brother so you can call him and say, hey, Joe, what you doing? Oh, man, I ain't doing nothing. Look here. Let's go take these dogs and let them run some rabbits. You see? Now you got somebody to go run rabbits with. You see? Somebody you know that's cool and you ain't got to worry about a whole lot of dumb shit. But before you can even get to that point, your mouth, you're coming out your mouth and your thoughts all twisted and you're saying all kind of twisted shit out your mouth. And it don't make any sense. I really and truly believe the 70s was the best of the best. I really believe that. Because everybody was respectful to one another. Even the rednecks, they would invite you to their house and feed your ass, but they treated you nice enough to want to whoop your ass. And then if you whoop them, they might not want to feed your ass no more.
No more chili beans for you.
Hey, God damn.
That's the funniest shit ever, boy.
Ain't no more chili beans.
Hell no. The chili beans and the money left at the same time. We ain't really got none for sale.
You ain't right, man. Man, me and my homeboys, we just want to let another bowl carry with us.
Carry your ass on out that door.
So that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta be polite to one another, man. Everything ain't about vexing one another. Everything ain't about trying to challenge a man in a way that way you feel like you tougher than somebody. Cause remember one thing, tough niggas. I done seen a punk kill a tough motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Okay? The little old punk kill a 275-pound motherfucker. and blew half his goddamn head off. Tough motherfucker. You hear me? It ain't about being tough. It's everything about being, fellowshipping, being humble. You know what I mean? Brotherly love. I ain't talking about sexual love with your brother. We ain't talking about no bitch shit. See, we come up here, it's the city of brotherly love. Tell them where it's at, Bob.
It damn sure ain't in Philly, but keep going.
That's what it was. Philly was the city. Don't try that goddamn.
I'm from Philly. They lied like a motherfucker when they said this brotherly love the most hate this motherfuckers there. They want to find it. But
look, I ain't gonna lie. When I went to Philly, man, I had one of the best goddamn times. This before I even met you, man. And we went to a place called Face. I don't know if somebody old enough to remember this, but it was 3 levels. And we had a ball in there. So all I'm saying, man, it's about oneness, man. It's too much madness, man. They gotta let that madness. I'm just talking about too much madness in the world, period. You see what I'm saying? We got the young kids who want to go to school and shoot one another up. We got, it's all kind of madness, man. The little girls want to go shoot somebody up. I mean, just it's like a sickness, and the whole thing is channeled for everybody to be this way. But they be quick to try to blame a certain situation or other things. No, bro, study, sit down, read, listen to some of these lectures, listen to these people that's dropping this knowledge, man. So we can understand why we shouldn't be doing stupid shit, and we should be working together, helping our brothers and sisters. I'm gonna end with it right there.
Yes, sir. Brother Bach, what's your take on that? Why? May we reread the question?
No, you don't. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Unless you just want to. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
Well, first of all, the brothers did a wonderful job explaining. Only the way both they can. I mean, I think in any field of work somebody in, if somebody's getting too much shine, it's going to be that jealousy and that envy, brother. And again, I always go back to this, especially with my people of color. The self-hatred is real, whether people want to, believe it or not, outside of those of us notice within our own. And a lot of times it's crazy because the hate is even more so with us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the more that we get into it, the more hateful shit is being done and said. Like Boone said, he was doing it in the 70s where it was truly, really racist, more racist back then. You know what I'm saying? And damn, I mean, you was dealing with goddamn grand wizards and they was treating you better than your fucking own brother will today. It just would. I mean, they it's just today, the hate level is ridiculous. And like I said, this is not just in the dogs, this is just in any field somebody's in, where somebody feels like that person is getting too much play. You know what I'm saying? So again, like Ram and Boone said, how do you have time to actually worry about what another man in his program is doing if you actually doing everything you're supposed to be doing in your own? You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous to even hate on somebody, to begin with. And if you really don't like that person or really don't like what the program they running, and you got a shot at going into them, doing something that, if that's what you were into, then you would have had a chance to do that. And then let those, the hounds have what they did to talk. So at the end of the day, that's all the fuck it was supposed to be about if it's about dogs. It really ain't, unless the guys are coming there to goddamn matching each other in terms of both of them. They're still only going to be there 2 representations of 2 dogs. So regardless how you feel about it, as long as you respect the man, even if you don't like him, and you show up and do what you had to do and let the dog show in a person's program. But there ain't no way is jealousy and envy gonna stop. That shit ain't stopping today. It ain't stopping the fucking tomorrow, because there's a lot of hate in this fucking people. People hate themselves. And then, like I said, to see somebody else doing better than them, that's just a person that they feel bad about looking at themselves and seeing this person shine. So it's not going to stop. So it's going to continue being people talking about. I'm going to just say this. When I first got in the dog game, I went to the Tidewater area. And I normally never say shit about it. But they the most ungratefulest motherfuckers I ever met in my life. They were under a program where they was going to one man that didn't even know they could go to call a show out by looking. All of them had a journal and a fucking Pitbull Gazette, and they did not know that they can look in there just like the person they were under. So I liberated their ass till they all knew how to goddamn do their own show, and have them at my house then every other weekend, paying for all the food, they liquor. I never drank or got high, none of that shit. But I had all that. Food and everything, whatever they wanted. And they would go out the door, and one of the brothers told me to his own brother, man, don't invite my brother. But I said, why you say that? He said, man, the motherfucker went out the door talking shit about you after your ex-wife just finished feeding him and giving him all what he want, that he drinks and all that shit. So you never, it's always going to be some envious, jealous motherfuckers. You understand? So it's nothing you can do about it, bro. I mean, but just continue to do your program and don't let whatever they do bleed over to your shit and fuck your shit up. Just keep on doing you, because you cannot change the minds of hateful motherfuckers that's going to hate you regardless what the fuck you do. They going to hate you. So you just
you can't do something, though. You can run the motherfuckers over in the truck, but,
Around crazy. Yes, indeed. Mr. Garcia, what's your take on that?
I can't add to it, man. They said it all succinctly. All three of them. I agree wholeheartedly. I would just be repeating.
Yes, sir.
True words, man. Take heed.
Absolutely.
And you could spot a hating motherfucker because he always hating when his girl at work. So if it's always quiet and around the work hours when they go live, they girl at work and they got the house to themselves because they some bum ass niggas. That's the more slimy bitch ass nigga move. Even if he try to go outside and get some background noise, like, you supposed to be at work, ain't you? Oh, you ain't got no job. That's why you hating on a motherfucker who got a job in a yard full of dogs and this shit still cleaner than your dirty ass kitchen.
Damn. Yeah, man, but welcome that round. Why don't you give us a quick disclaimer, brother?
As always, man, none of this shit is intended for.
Wait a minute, hold on. Excuse me. Before you
go
quit,
ahead.
I mean to go.
Go ahead, brother.
Whatever the fuck I say with Boone is a brother of mine. So please, anybody take me and Boone have discussions where we don't agree on every fucking thing all the time anyway. So anybody that just know this won't be the first, it won't be the last. Keep it moving.
Oh yeah, it was just two OGs barking at each other on the chain. They niggas ain't gonna bite, but they still got one left in them.
Well, we ain't gonna hurt one another.
Yeah,
Never that.
Yeah,
they bros. Yeah.
Hey, look, me and him, we've been doing this for how many years now? About 20?
Hell no, since fucking 1990.
So what? About 20? What? 30 years?
Yep, 32 years. Yes, sir.
And we still going strong.
Hey, listen, we almost come to blows at times too, but ain't nothing but love, brothers. Brotherly love. It's brotherly love. Believe that. I just want y'all to know.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
None of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used towards any illegal purposes. And if you is out there using it for that, man, keep that shit to yourself. Don't tell nobody. Don't even fucking tell yourself that shit, man. The fucking Monday coming up, so fucking scratch hard into that bitch, man. Because Mondays be sucking sometime for you niggas out there. Not me. I love Mondays because I get up there and fight that motherfucker hard as shit. Other than that, man, be great this week. Try to do something positive in your community this week, no matter what it is, man. Just
Yes, sir.
give greatness a shot. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a
Well
good
said.
one. I like that. Yeah, go volunteer for the Y, the Salvation Army. Yeah,
Or just clean up that fucking alley. I know you see the alley dirty and shit. It ain't your trash, but you could get back there and clean it up, man. That's your neighborhood. Just start there. Something easy. You trash anyway, so once you start picking it up, you pick yourself up.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go donate to the bank.
Oh, we didn't mention
And
Brother
Tim.
Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and make
We didn't
sure.
mention Brother Mark.
Yes,
Did
sir.
we?
And we still collecting donations for Brother Mark. We're gonna be sending that money to him soon. So if y'all want to help the brother out, you can cash at me at $78 Sports. It's going across the bottom of the screen right now, and we will get that money to Brother Mark. And I want to thank the people that already donated. We raised over $445 for Brother Mark so far. Thank y'all so much for your contributions. You know what I mean? And we definitely gonna get that out to him. Appreciate y'all if y'all want to support. Go, and make sure y'all also go and subscribe to Schoolboy's YouTube channel. Subscribe to Walking Down Ram Big Steppin' YouTube channel. We gotta get Roster Man and Bach on here, and we're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be all right.
Absolutely.
Hey, I got one thing. Hey, Bach, didn't you say you had some puppies?
Yes.
Damn it, let somebody know.
He might want to keep him. You letting him out, Bach?
We're doing a puppy raffle. What do you need to get a puppy?
Well,
Hey, you know what? Somebody sent me something about they wanted me, Boone, and Ram to raffle to the auction. I think auction off some pups for Brother Mark. I think that's what a person that said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do that. We do that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's what Ram was telling you that.
Was that no? I was on the phone. I got this from
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Too. That's really
Hey,
good.
look,
I'm down with that. Let's do it. I ain't got no puppies though.
Let me just say this. We're trying to get the brother at least about $5,000 because he needs lawyer fees, man.
Right.
None of this money will be spent with nobody or dispersed to nobody.
Yeah, it ain't like we gonna give it to him so he can run a stove and have a big old stove box in that bitch.
Right. But yeah, man. So you know, all you want to donate or give or whatever. If you got a dog you want to donate, and we'll raffle that dog off, or you want to donate cash, whatever, man. We just want to try to help this brother as much as we can. That's all.
Yes, sir. Thanks for all your donations.
Yes,
yeah.
I appreciate you.
Hey, his schoolboy up too for that registry, man. You want your dogs registered on some fly shit.
Oh, the book.
He ain't telling.
We got the book. Schoolboy book.
Yep.
He got a couple of books. He got a couple of books.
I got 2 books and a keep. And
tell the people what kind of book you got, Schoolboy.
First one's called The Big Red Handbook. It's about Big Red, his sons, different articles, breeding females. Second one's Family Bred and Raised. It's mostly covers my dogs, different shows, articles on pups and game, all kinds of stuff. And then I have my keep. And I'd like to thank 78 Sports because it's really helped me with, getting my stuff out there. And even on my channel, that helps. And everybody just get, a lot of support. And I really appreciate it from everybody, man.
Hey, salute to you. Salute to you, Mr. Garcia. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And appreciate the panel, man. Thank y'all for coming here every week and dropping this work, because I know everybody, y'all don't have to be here, you know what I'm saying? But so everybody in the chat, y'all getting a treat. You know what I'm saying? I'm honored every time I come up here. I get to talk to these dudes and learn. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go buy no old books or nothing. I can just pick up the phone. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There you go.
So I'm in the privileged position, and I appreciate it. So thank y'all, and we'll see y'all next week, man.
All right.
Peace.